Hey folks, welcome to those just slowly coming in now. We're just going to give it 30 seconds before we kick things off properly. I'm also going to get our live stream going on Facebook, which always takes me a good 30 seconds. Here we go. Cool, so I'll just start things off with an introduction as we're seeing people crawl in. As a reminder, we are recording today's town hall, so it will be publicly available on YouTube after the fact. We are also, as I just mentioned at the start, live streaming on Facebook. So if at any point you have any connection issues, feel free to go and check out our page on Facebook. You should be able to see the live stream there too. So with that, obviously, as we are recording, if you want to ask a question and you don't want to be, coming up on stage to ask that question, feel free to use the Q&A functionality at the bottom of your screen. We're happy to kind of answer those questions in chat as they come up. As always, we'll start with some company and product updates before moving on to that opportunity for the audience to ask questions. There is a raise hand function at the bottom of your screen as well. Please use that when we get to that time for you to raise your hand and come on stage to ask a question. As I say, though, you can type out your question in the Q&A box if needed. So without further ado, I'm going to hand things over to Pierre to kick things off.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on this town hall. Without further ado, I'm really going to touch on the most important subject that currently we're dealing with together as a company, and that is obviously the situation of our support team. I've shared with you some updates already 2 weeks ago on what was the situation with some departures in the team and what we're doing, obviously, to solve that problem. So yeah, we've had 2 people leaving our team in January, 2 people again leaving our team in February, and we've been busy at recruiting more people since early February. We have made some progress in recent days, and we'll tell you why a little bit later. But you can see that our average response time per day, basically all the metrics that basically we're looking at in terms of response time, average, median, and time to close are getting lower. You can still see, however, that we have a big problem located around the weekend coverage, and that's something that we're going to take step to solve a little bit later. For now, what I'm very happy to be sharing with you is that we have 4 people that have been joining our team in the past few days and are looking forward to get up to speed or are already communicating with you on support and on the live chat to make it more lively. So I'm going to introduce them to you today, and I'm going to start with Burns, who is basically part of what we refer to internally as a magic team. Burns, how are you doing today?
Hi there, Casey. I'm doing good. How are you?
Great, doing good. I have some good updates to share. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about you, what you're doing, and yeah, what was your experience of joining Hospitable so far?
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Burns. I'm from the Philippines. So, something personal about me is I actually rescue cats and dogs, and then once they're all good, once they're all treated, I actually put them up for adoption. So yeah, that's something about me personally.
Thank you very much, Burns. Next, we're moving on to Jake. I've taken this picture of you. I think you were basically. I had to crop the picture very significantly, but I think you were basically on top of a mountain. That was a very nice background, a very nice view. Jake, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Jake and I'm also from the Philippines. I started with Hospitable last week, so basically it's my 2nd week here as part of the company. And something about myself, basing on the picture, yes, that's what I love doing as well. Whenever I have a free time, I love outdoors. So I usually hike, and camping is like my go-to thing to like whenever I want to unwind. So I usually stay in one place for like 2 to 3 days, like disconnect with all the stress that we have here and then just be one with nature. And then after you get back, I'm feeling refreshed.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to that, especially because I saw what was in the background, and that's really it's looking paradise, heaven. Next, Edward, how are you doing?
Yes, hi PC. Good morning, everyone who are joining our town hall. Doing great, and yes, I've been part of the hospitable team for more than a week now, and everything is doing great. And also, I'm from the Philippines. I'm with Burns and Jake, and we are from the Magic team. And a little bit about me is yes, as you can see on the picture, I just received my swag, and it's very welcoming to the hospitable team. And if I'm not answering your questions, I'm actually riding a bike, traveling to places, and learning their culture as well. So that would be for me.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Edward. The Magic team will have an art task, and that's going to be really to interact with you in real time on live chat. They're working all Pacific time hours, and basically covering a lot of customers that are based in the United States, and all working across American time zones. And we also have very recently the addition as well of Kevin, who is basically part of those few people that can be hospitable Airbnb or short-term rental host, I should say, short-term rental host, hospitable customers, and now hospitable employees. So yeah, tell us a bit more about you, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks, Pierre. So my name is Kevin Ramirez. I'm from Miami, Florida. And as far as outside work, I like to play softball. I've been a baseball player all my life. Video games with my nieces and nephew, traveling with my wife, and spending time with family. Fun fact about me, I am also, as Pierre said, an Airbnb co-host. I've been a property manager since 2018. I have a little podcast about Airbnb teaching new hosts as well. We have 7 active listings right now on Hospitable. I'm working on 3 more by the end of this month. And I've been using Hospitable since February 15th of this year. So 15th of this month is my 3rd month anniversary, and came from other PMSs that I will not discuss here. But
No, we don't. No
yeah.
words, no names.
But as soon as I took that free trial, I saw how much I loved the trial, and I signed up right away. And yeah, in fact, I loved it so much that now I'm working for Hospitable. So
yeah, hopefully that continues. And yeah, you can. That may be a strategy for us to, at least that's one customer that's working in support, not interacting and asking for support attention. So that's maybe one way of solving that problem. Yeah, joke aside. So we're making good progress on increasing the size of the team. We are also very happy to receive some fantastic news from Frances, who was away on sick leave for the past 2 months. Who is also back on our APAC team, currently with Ethan, based in Australia, Mike, and Frances. Now we're going to be based in the Philippines as well. And so Frances has been with the company for a little bit, I want to say 3 years. It feels like it's been quite some time. So yeah, she has a wealth of experience and knowledge, obviously, about Hospitable. So we're making progress. That will progressively add more impact on your experience with the customer support. It's already starting on reducing the response time for the first touches, so the first questions, and making sure that we got all the information that we need to be able to investigate and then basically come back to you with the one answer that you're expecting from us. Obviously, we're not happy with the situation as it is today, but we want to basically keep on growing the company and growing the team size. And that's, I didn't finish that slide. So yeah, I was late on that. So yeah, Ruben continues his mission. Ruben is our global talent partner working as a recruiter for our company, and basically keep on working on applicants for several job positions. So we have 3 more positions to fill in the US to join currently Jen and Kevin as part of the internal team. At least 1 new hire in the Asia Pacific region. And also we're also started recruiting and interviewing for inside salespeople to join Ver and Brian. Brian also an Airbnb short-term rental host and hospitable customer. And we are going to start in an upcoming days also the recruitment for new people to join a software engineering team and product engineering team. So we're very much looking forward to that. Back to basically our objective in support. I will keep obviously providing you an update. We know how important it is, and we want to basically get back to the situation that we were known for. So yeah, we want to scale our support team to 14 people. If you were seeing this slide last week, it was from 7 to 14 people. And yes, unfortunately, a new person in the US team, Tanai, who was delighting us with more TikToks and VO2 training videos, and that you've also met on the Hospital Buddies if you had the chance last week, I basically decided to leave the company as well. For us, that still remained the same challenge. We need to grow this team very significantly to 14 people. Currently, we're sitting at 11, and we're going to need to continue making some very significant progress to grow the team, both with expert technical advice, including with people who have experience in the industry, but also with live chat responses, so making sure that we collect everything that we need to be able to respond to you. O'Neill is asking a question right now. How many people work at Hospitable in total? That's getting to be a tricky answer, but that's about 30 people right now, depending on different agencies and setup that we're currently having, with 28 people currently internal to the company. So I think it's 31 if you're counting everyone. It is a project to count people. So yeah, it's still growing. We've grown the team 70%. We were just 20 in August last year. Still a long way to go. I didn't want to continue on something a bit bittersweet. So as you probably read directly from the newsletter yesterday, there are some news regarding ChatGPT. So if you didn't know about it, we have released a few weeks ago now this ChatGPT integration that allows you, just by clicking the magic wand button, to generate a draft reply to any message from your guest. So you don't have to basically take the mental load on the effort of drafting that message yourself. Instead, you can maybe tweak it. We are today releasing it in beta. So today releasing it in beta. So that means actually a third of our customers can now access it. I will tell you a bit later about how to join, but the thing that really is striking me as very significant is that in the private pilot and today, just at the beginning of the beta release, 50% of all messages that are generated by ChatGPT are being sent without any edit, verbatim. So that is kind of a testament to the value that this feature can have for every single customer. So we're going to start monitoring that. It's free while it is in beta. We're releasing that to a lot of people. We know that there is a cost that's going to be associated to us as a business to be launching this feature. We're going to be collecting more data points on the value that this feature is having and how it's being used, so that we can basically come with a pricing that's going to be aligned to having us maintaining it and developing more features in relation with the general AI direction of our product. If you want to try it out today, you can basically access the beta, go to settings, then preferences, and you have to toggle on enable experimental beta features. O'Neill is again asking a question that I'm going to answer live. Are these responses generic, or does it pull information from the listing? That's a very good thing to talk about. It is indeed getting information from your listing description, from listing summaries, from the reservation context, and we are going to be able to generate something that is going to be as close to possible as what you would say. So they are aware of most element of the context. We received some feedback about the ChatGPT from the private pilot. So some feature requests, such as, for example, you can already start writing. One user asked that if you are starting to write a message, just giving a few instructions, then maybe just get ChatGPT to rewrite it to basically expand the message that may have already been templated. There is also feedback to have more awareness of what I would call policies, basically what is going to be the things that you accept at your short-term rental, at your property. So for example, when case pets or no pets, ChatGPT without that context can generate a reply that would say, yeah, sure, we can accept against a $5 fee, but doesn't have so far that precise understanding if you don't include that, for example, in your listing summary. So we're going to need to work on that. Another thing is really the awareness of time, especially as you get more questions relating to early check-in. Do you have a date available? Can you accept an early check-in? And obviously the value there is that you can just click the button, trust that the data is going to be correct so that ChatGPT can generate a response that's going to be as close to possible as both your choices, whether you accept those early check-ins, and then whether there is actually a capacity for you to be doing so. So something that's going to be working on as soon as we can. And yeah, the thing that I wanted to finish with before we started in on delightful updates regarding a direct product. We're very happy to work on ChatGPT. There is a lot more coming in relation with AI. I'm just reminding for people that are joining us on this channel today. We are working on other features such as leveraging sentiment analysis so that we can help you highlight the conversations that are going to be the most important, sometimes when there is, a fire, maybe sometimes a literal fire, and basically able to flag those conversations very visually within the inbox, supporting more questions. And that's something that I believe Alisa and Emily will be happy to announce later. And later, a bit later again, so we're talking more than 2 channels in the future, leveraging AI to be able to generate more content, whether that's draft reviews, new messages, new messages automation, or more content for your direct booking website. We're just at the beginning of this AI journey. That was the thing that we were known for in the beginning, and we are obviously very happy to use that opportunity for our customers. Okie dokie. Next on Direct.
Hello, everyone. Yep, Andrew here with your bi-weekly Direct update. So some update on the rollout timeline. The pilot has closed. So bad news if you're still waiting to get into the pilot. Pierre, you want to advance my slide, please? Are you still controlling? Yeah, thank you. The pilot is closed. So yeah, I'm sorry if you're still waiting. You're not going to get in the pilot, but the good news is you'll get in with everybody else. So we had to cap it. We had to close it because we are now transitioning into a normal rollout. So from April 17th, we will start adding kind of what we consider just throttling up the usage from a few percentage of you all to 100% over the course of, say, about 30 days is the plan. But yeah, that's coming very, very soon. We had to give everyone in the pilot a couple of weeks notice. Say, hey, we are going to eventually start charging for this product that we've been investing and building over the last year plus. So, yep, that happened. We're giving them a chance to decide whether they want to continue with Direct, and then we'll open it up to all of our users. We had some good news today from our payment platform provider. That is what allows us to do what we do with the payout management for Direct Premium. They will get us into their Australia product in about 2 weeks. So that's the next expansion and the first expansion for us outside of the US for the premium product. Again, Basic is available anywhere Stripe is available. And then, yeah, we'll learn from that expansion. I don't think it's a lot of effort on our side. It also depends on, local tax complexities, which we understand in Australia are quite simple. So as long as that's the case, we will keep doing that going forward. Okay, next up, actually, I'll just give you a quick look. So, yep, updates. We have added a couple of pages. If you're in the pilot, you'll now see your payout history. So we'll track. As soon as you get a booking, you'll have a scheduled payout. So you'll know the date that's coming, normally 24 hours after your check-in. You also get a Your Plan page, which will allow you to manage your settings. That's obviously a critical part of rolling this out to all of our customers. When you do get added as part of the general audience to Direct, you do have to opt in. You're going to activate Direct features, and then you understand how much it costs. And you'll have to basically decide to opt in to publish new sites and to take bookings through your booking widget going forward. So that was a critical part of that. Everything is very clear. You're going to know how much it costs, when we're going to bill you for it, and you'll be able to switch plans. So if you want to try out Premium, great. If you want to switch to Basic later, great. That's not a problem. And you'll be able to do that all from the Your Plan page. Sales tax, we've mentioned a couple of times. We didn't have this turned on initially based on the feedback we had when we were building it, but our great pilot users pointed out that, hey, we're liable for sales tax. So that has been fixed now. We are collecting and passing through sales tax everywhere in the US where it's applicable. And then the next part of that is to start doing the registrations that we need to do as we reach a Nexus threshold, and where we have good opportunities to help our hosts out and actually file and remit both lodging tax and sales tax where we can and where it makes sense for us to do so. We are still in progress with the cancellation policy manager. We've made some big decisions about that. We're almost ready to have a buildable design now for what we're going to let you do. Basically, we're going to make some decisions on when Hospitable is liable for kind of eating the payment processing costs that come with having a cancellation. And then beyond that, you might be able to further increase the flexibility you want to provide if you decide that's in your business best interest by tweaking your kind of your settings. But in the end, you're the boss of Direct, and you'll be able to choose a cancellation policy that matches how you want to manage your business. Exciting stuff coming up for Direct. Pierre and I have a call with the head of Google Vacation Rentals for Europe, Middle East, Africa tomorrow. We are slated to get that set up as fast as possible. I know that has been highlighted from you all in these town halls as a very important feature request. We agree with you. We are going to action that as quickly as possible. So hopefully we have good news from tomorrow. And then otherwise, Instant Book and Split Pay are two highly requested features. This is not the entire list. We have a long backlog that we want to release on Direct, but those are a few of the items to look forward to coming up. And if we look at the next slide, just to give you guys that aren't in the pilot a quick preview of what the plan management looks like. We try and keep it as simple as possible. You understand what happens when you activate, what are the consequences if you deactivate, how you can switch, etc. So we're starting to build out a few of the different management features for Direct to make that easier, to make it self-serve, and so you can be in control of Direct going forward. All right. I think next up is Emily. Take over for her product.
All right. Hey, everybody. All right. I'm going to start with a little smart lock update, maybe a big smart lock update. Last town hall, we were kind of excited to be able to say that we had only a 2% error rate, and we were seeing that go down. Unfortunately, we had an incident over the weekend, so I'll give you some details on that and talk about what we are doing to remediate that and move forward from that. So last Friday evening, we discovered that our smart lock integrations were unable to create and send codes to guests following some infrastructure work that we had just completed. So the incident spanned the course of the weekend, and about 900 subscribers were impacted, and around 2,000 guests didn't receive codes as they should. So on Monday, we did identify the root cause and deployed a fix. And on Monday and Tuesday, we went back to just double check that all the guests received the codes as they should, and that everything should work moving forward. So that part of the process is done. Thankfully, we are on the other side of that incident, but we know that it's super important for something mission critical like smart locks to work all the time without you having to do any manual effort on your part. So we really apologize for that incident. And here's what we're going to do to make it better. One, we've recently announced backup codes. This was last week, or earlier this week, excuse me. And for now, this is something that you guys can enable in your account if you are a beta user. So as Pierre mentioned earlier, you can join our beta user group on your own, and then you'll have access to backup codes. So what this does is when your lock is connected to Hospitable, we're automatically going to provision 2 backup codes that are going to live on your lock all the time. So no longer will you receive that dreaded, like all caps, the contact host immediately message. Instead, when we perform our daily health check, if we notice that for some reason the code wasn't provisioned for that guest, we're just automatically going to send the guest the backup code that's going to work for them for the duration of their stay. And then we'll provision another backup code to use in the next situation that it's needed. Again, this is available to beta users. You can enable that yourself in the smart lock settings. And soon it's going to be enabled by default for all beta users, and then out to all the rest of our users after a couple of weeks of careful monitoring. And then as a part of our efforts to offer a more stable, reliable suite of smart lock integrations, we've done a few things. One, better monitoring and alerts internally. Some of these we've already implemented so that we can spot when issues are happening more quickly. We've relied a lot on our support team to share with us when issues are coming up, and that shouldn't be only their job. It can also be solved by some better monitoring. And so that's one fix that we're putting in place. And we've also formed a weekly cross-team meeting whose goal is to get our code service level in the 99% successful region. So this meeting consists of members from our support team who are advocating for you, our hosts, from our product team, and then from the engineering management team as well. So there are a lot of moving parts with these integrations because for every lock, we're working with different integrating partners who all have their own limitations. So our hope is that informing this team, we can kind of more efficiently navigate that so that you don't have to know about those limitations and you can trust that your smart locks will just work without your manual intervention moving forward. So again, apologize for that incident over the weekend. And we hope to be able to share better news next town hall with some good success rates for you. And then wanted to also announce a new integration we have with Minute. Minute has built this integration and they've just released it to their users, and it's also available to you all as well. So what you can do is originate this integration from your Minute account. So if you're already using Minute, which is a noise detection device, you can log into your account, connect your Minute homes with the Hospitable properties, and we'll automatically sync booking information to Minute, and they will then automatically notify guests when noise levels are high without you having to do anything. So we're super excited about that new integration, available for our beta users, and in a couple of weeks, we will release to everyone. Those are my updates. Back to Miles, I think, for some Q&A.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you very much, Emily. So yeah, we're going to move on to the Q&A portion now. So just a reminder, you can use your raise hand functionality at the bottom of the screen to let us know if you want to come on stage. There is also the Q&A functionality at the bottom if you want to type out your question. We do have a few people waiting in the queue with their hands raised. So we're going to go first to Sandeep, who I know has been waiting a couple of minutes. Sandeep, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. I am brand new to Hospitable. I just joined yesterday. Excuse me if I ask a very stupid question. So I just want to know about some notification that I need to send to the guest on the day of arrival with the access codes for my smart locks. I didn't see that functionality in the messaging rules. The only thing I saw was a check-in, which was 3 days before, like 3 days before. And I know I can adjust that, but I don't want to consolidate that with the separate message that I want to send for just for the code.
Hey, Sandeep. Yeah, I answered you on chat too. Let me make sure I'm understanding. How do you currently set your codes? Are you using a smart lock?
Yes, I do have Lockly for all the doors in my Airbnb is Lockly, and I've created a guest code, which is I don't have a Wi-Fi hub yet, so I have a guest code which I create every time a guest comes in. But yeah, so that's what I'm using. So that's what I'm going to send to the guest.
Okay, got it. So every time a guest checks in, you manually set a code on that lock for that guest, and you're just trying to figure out how to send that code to that guest?
No, I know how to send it. I just want to know, I want to automate it so that I don't have to manually send it. It's a fixed code, and I just want it to be sent on the day of arrival.
Got it. Okay, so it's the same code you're sending to everybody.
Yes.
Okay, so in that case, what you can do, in general, we would recommend sending different codes. It's just a little bit more secure for you to have different codes. And if you're using other locks, we do have direct integrations with other locks, not specifically as Lockly at this time, though. But what you could do is just create a new messaging rule that's set to send 24 hours before check-in, a couple hours, whatever you're comfortable with. And in that message, you can include information for that guest, including that code.
Okay, so you're saying if I go to, I'm on the app right now, so I'm in the messaging rule. So you're saying
exactly.
That
yeah, so if you're under guest experience messaging rules, on the top right, you'll see an add new rule, and you can set that rule to say, I want to send before check-in, and then you can define how long before check-in, the content of that message, everything right there. So you can create rules beyond what we just start you off with.
Yeah, but the message is empty, so you have to really put that code in with the, so you basically have to create the custom codes and all that stuff, right?
So you'll create the message exactly as you want. There's placeholders called short codes. So you can type something like a %sign and then first name, and we'll dynamically pull in the correct first name for all the guests. So you don't have to type that. Really, you just set this message once, create it, and then we'll send that to all of your guests.
All right, great, thank you. And then second question I have is about the smart lock integration. How does that work? So if I have smart locks that are currently in the Airbnb, so how do I integrate with that, and how does it work?
I'll go ahead, Vera.
Hi, Sandeep. I'm just gonna jump in real quick. That depends on the locks that you have and if we have an integration with them. And I think the best way to go about this, simply to mind everyone's time, can you send an email to vera@hospitable.com, and I'll take some time with you to sit down and explain how everything works one-on-one to make sure that you actually have it set up correctly. Is that okay?
Can you spell that email again?
VERA
Uh-huh.
at hospitable.com.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm going to send that out. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No worries. I got you.
Mhm.
And that way, everyone who is just starting on Hospitable can get Vera's email address to get basically some one-on-one onboarding session. Thank you, Vera. Thank you, Sandeep, for your questions.
Great. Thank you very much. So now moving on to Jake. Hello, Jake.
Hey,
everybody.
Jake. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you guys for all that you're doing. I've been using you for, I don't know, 4 to 5 years now, and the product keeps getting better. I appreciate all the hard work. One really large, tough obstacle I have faced for a long time is I own a duplex and a triplex, and we have a umbrella listing where you can book the whole property, and then we also have child listings where you can book the individual units. Airbnb does an incredible job of being able to block the appropriate unit when I get a booking. However, I have been unable to use your direct features or an integration with VRBO because the parent-child listing is not supported. It's been something I've been asking for many years. So I'm just curious if you have plans for that. I feel like you probably have a lot of customers that will be impacted by that, especially larger properties where you could book multiple units at the same time. And I did just look at the suggestion board. It looked like there were 234 votes. So I'm just wondering if that's on the plan for the near future or not.
Yeah. Hey, Jake. Yeah, we're super familiar with this request. We're going to have to do it one day. We know that. And so we will. I don't have a date for you, unfortunately, right now, but we can keep you posted as we do it, because we do know that parent-child listings is something that a lot, especially of our larger users, are doing. So yes, I definitely hear you, and we'll let you know when that gets prioritized.
Okay, gotcha. I guess I'm looking for a little advice as far as, so I have started my onboarding at OwnerRez to be able to basically use their direct booking and VRBO integration because I can't use yours. So is this something you see in the next year, or is this potentially farther off than that? I'm just trying to judge if I should be really moving forward with another company and continuing to use you just for messaging, or if this is something that's going to happen fairly soon.
And to be honest, Jake, it's probably not going to happen until we do a bit more staffing on the engineering side. So we have, I think, 3 openings right now that we're hiring for. We do want to staff our core engineering team up, which would be the team that would take on this work. It's not an easy thing to do, which is why I think we've put it off for so long. I would say in the best case, we're looking at having a fully staffed core team in the next 2 to 3 months. And then it's a matter of prioritizing that work specifically. I'd say in an upside case, maybe we have it in 6 months, but it's, you know, it's not something on a town hall that we can commit to. We know it's a big issue. We know we need to get to it at some point. I would say, yeah, definitely on a year timeframe, we would have that. But again, like, we just can't make decisions like that and give you any definitive date. But yeah, like Emily said, you've been heard.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for your time, and keep doing the great stuff you're doing.
Let's give the company you've mentioned the chance to get you as a customer and gets to go through the onboarding. There are some comments in the chat about it, and people you can reach out to that did to the same. So good luck with that, Jake, and thank you for your kind words.
Jake, just a quick one. I'll be waiting. This is all I'm gonna say. I'll be waiting for that, and I'll be waiting for you.
You'll be waiting for me when you get that set up so that you can help me set it up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very displaying a bit of confidence right there.
Thank you very much, Jake.
On fire today. Okay, let's go next.
Okay, next up in our queue, Ream team. So I believe that's Kareem who's chat with us today. And hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I had a quick question in regards to the smart lock integration. So what I've been noticing when we have guests that extend their reservation, for some reason, it still takes the smart lock code off for the guest at the original reservation before they extend. Is there any like fix around that, or am I doing something wrong on my end?
Yeah, it doesn't sound correct. When you have a guest who makes a reservation and it's altered in some way, we should be also editing that code to reflect that new reservation. So if it's a change in time or checkout, date check-in, if it's not, shoot us a chat today and let us know what guest that happened for. We can take a look for you because it should be working seamlessly.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Also, in the event that I have a guest that wants to check out a little bit later than standard time, which is 11 a.m. And I have to go to Hospitable to edit that checkout time, but it's the same thing where it doesn't, for some reason, the code still is removed at standard checkout time, which is 11 a.m.
Okay, yeah. Shoot us a message when you edit the checkout time in Hospitable. That should change everything. So your code, any messages based on that time, cleaning tasks, whatever, those should all be updating. So if it's not, I'd love to look at that with you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
And just one last thing, what is is that basically across several brands of locks, or is there just one brand that you're using in particular?
Yeah, so I'm currently using the August smart lock, so I'm having that issue with their integration.
Okay, that's good to know as well, to realize that. So thank you very much for those precisions.
Thank you.
Great rest of your day.
Cool. So we've got a queue of people. So moving on to Aaron next. Aaron, let us know your question, please.
Yeah, how are you? I've got a question about manual bookings or entering manual bookings. And forgive me if this has been addressed somewhere, but is there a possibility to enter a manual reservation that has not been paid and send like an invoice or a link to pay that and for a reservation that I enter as a host?
That is a fantastic idea, Aaron, and we are definitely going to do that. And it's on our short list for Roadmap for Direct. Yeah, definitely this got flagged in a couple of town halls, like you're doing maybe phone booking and someone wants to make a booking. So what we're going to do is pretty much what you described. So as you can basically block dates now, you can select dates. You can enter a custom price if you want to do like a discount for this person and set that. You can block the dates for 24 hours, and then we'll generate a URL that you can send to that user, and they're just going to go straight to the payment flow then and add their payment, and voila. Does that sound like what you're talking about?
Precisely.
Fantastic.
Precisely. Other quick question, discounts. You mentioned discounts. Discount codes, I think you mentioned that previously, that's in the queue.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit more of a complex product to kind of generate codes, track codes, expire codes, those kind of things. So I think what we'll do first is do the quote option. And that would unblock you to give discounts to like friends and family, that kind of option. But yeah, discount codes are definitely coming as well. It's just, we're making decisions on low scope of work, high impact. So it'll get there when the right priority comes up for it.
No, that would be fine if I could manually do it. That's been how I've been entering reservations until now anyway. So that'd be perfect. That'd be sweet. Okay.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for the feedback, Aaron.
Yeah, thanks.
Andrew, can you expand a bit more by what you mean by the quotes option?
So yeah, I think that's how our hosts have referred to it, as generating a quote. So and it's basically like a host assisted booking. So instead of someone going to your direct site, selecting the dates and putting that information, if you're talking to them on the phone, if this is friends and family that you want to hook up with a deal, you can go ahead and block the dates for them. And so you go to your calendar in Hospitable, you'll select those dates just like you do now, and you have options on pricing and availability. When you do that, will allow you next to basically create what is a manual booking, but with payment processing. And then you'd be able to have a URL for that date selection that you've done. You could email that to whoever is taking that booking, and they'll be able to then enter their credit card information, and you'll be good to go.
Just wanted to get that out there. Well, the sound bites from Miles in the future.
I just need to speak a little bit more slowly so the sound bites work.
Right, we can slow it down in post. Don't worry.
And it doesn't work because in any case I'm speaking over him anyway, talking over him. Okay, Miles, who is next?
Thank you. We have Storm up next. Hello.
Hello, Storm. How are you doing? You can unmute yourself. I think it's a button. Yeah, you were unmuted a little bit ago.
Maybe Storm's a little busy to talk right now. So I'm gonna just take Storm off stage, leave the hand raised, and we'll move on to Scott, see if Scott is available.
Hello, Scott.
Yeah, hi, this is Scott. Sorry, I'm in the car.
Are you driving?
Yeah, it's perfectly safe.
Perfectly safe.
Hey, a couple things on the smart lock codes at the other job. I have a couple tickets open because I've noticed that same behavior on modification of reservation dates and end times. So Jen has been working with me, and it's been fantastic. And they have a bunch of reservations that have had this problem. It's also same day bookings kind of have the same kind of issue with smart lock codes, where they gen the code, but it starts 6 hours too late or 6 hours after the reservation was taken. So I just want to say thanks to the support team though for being on top of these issues and being receptive to my feedback. So thank you. And then the other thing I want to talk about was the ChatGPT integration. We got on that after I think the last town hall, and it is fantastic. It's not always perfect, but the language it uses is very context aware. So it can kind of gauge how the guest is feeling or based on their message, which is great. And the language that it does put in is very succinct and perfect. It's like I don't have to worry about how I type now. I just hit the button, I go and modify a few things if necessary. And it knows a lot about my properties and how we've communicated with guests in the past and how we've signed off on messages, and it does that automatically. I'm very, very impressed with where we are right now with it.
Awesome.
I'm encouraged further development.
Thank you so much, Scott. Scott gives the best feedback. We got on a phone call last week, and I think we ended up talking for like a half hour, and I was just taking notes the whole time. So I appreciate that. And thanks also for the shout out to the support team. Ideally, we don't have to have the support issues for the smart locks going forward. And we have been learning from your feedback on that. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah. And I also look forward to the quoting option in direct and the ability to coupon codes. Yep.
Oh, I took notes, Scott. We got a lot of stuff coming for you.
Yep. Thank you.
Also, I just want to say, Scott, thank you too. We've been working with you, and you've just been so patient and kind. So we appreciate you as well, and we love having you as a host.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Scott. Drive safe. So now we're hopefully going back to Storm, who had a couple of issues with the mute/unmute situation. Storm.
Hey, sorry about that.
There we go. No worries.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hello. My first Zoom. I'm used to you guys being on Clubhouse, but glad to be here.
Remember.
So my question is, I have two. One, I've been using the ChatGPT integration also, and I agree with what Scott said. I'm really loving it. I'm glad that I'm getting a look at that and use it. There was a couple of things I did submit tickets, but I also wanted to ask about. So one of them was I noticed that sometimes when I hit, it was actually the whole situation was it was a previous guest that then booked again. So a lot of his conversation was we really loved the stay last time. We're excited for our next stay, but ChatGPT kind of took the sense as in he's a past guest and no acknowledgement of a future reservation and the way it conducted the response. So I was wondering about that, if it'll be able to detect what sense of time it's using based on the reservation. Because in my mind, I felt it should have picked up that there was a reservation April 4th through the 7th at the time, that was then a future occurrence, right?
Yeah, no, that was a returning guest, right?
Yes, a returning guest.
Yeah. So that is indeed something that probably is not part of the thing that's part of the private pilot and the beta. But yes, absolutely, I completely get that point. Basically, that a returning guest, there should be, the context of the list of reservation that we've been having with the guest. So that's definitely something I've noted down. I think I've read your feedback already. I think you share that feedback in private on feedback.hospitable.com, which is the website where you can go to upvote some features and also provide some context about any issues that are really helpful to our product team. So you're totally right. There's still, I believe, some room for improvement. So yeah, really checking the dates before, being a bit more aware of the calendar, being more aware of the policies, and definitely the reservations history is part of them.
Right. No, definitely. And then my other question actually was, I was curious, and I think Scott just answered it for me, but originally I wanted to know, is it so, like he said, we hit the button, it generates an awesome response, but then it needs a little tweaking to be completely what we would want to send and accurate sometimes. Is it then learning that was our final response once we hit send to take it into consideration for the next response for that property?
So at this point in time, that's a no. It's basically a large language model that, you can hit the button several times and it basically may give you a different answer that fundamentally is hallucinating based on the element of contact that it provides. Something that's going to be consistent, that's going to be really the more hospitable tone. It knows that it's the best Airbnb host or short-term rental host that exists on the planet. So it really creates sometimes those messages that are really over the top or really verbose sometimes. But it doesn't learn really as much as we would like for the context. And we're kind of limited by the technology and the time that we've been capable of dedicating on that feature. But that's definitely is part of the improvement that we can make over time for that integration. So really understanding the entire context about past conversations, or you're responding to questions for that about early check-in for that given property, or you're responding to questions about pets for that given property. So over time, we'll be able to develop more features and more understanding of that kind of context, with the idea being that really we can be confident, and that's really a big ask, that ChatGPT will be providing the answer that you would have sent yourself or even better, with the settings that you would have expected, and will basically then be able to automate a lot more of your conversations with guests. A lot more of your messages.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Okay, cool.
So far, we received a lot of feedback from customers that really want automatically send those messages automatically, or like I think in the chat there was something as well about sending an out of office hour message from ChatGPT to basically try and attempt a best answer there. Right now, we would have a lot of pushback on that specific usage, because we need to be a lot more confident about the messages being flawless and really adapted to your situation.
No, I completely agree. Having used it, that I would not want
Yeah.
it automatically sending the responses it gives right away. But I can see that advancement. And then last quick question, it might not be a quick answer, so I apologize if it isn't, just disregard. But I did see in the Airbnb update that they're also looking at the user journey and that kind of an integration from AI, where they can kind of track what the guest is more, for example, if they want 40% off and they're more likely to book with a promotion versus a full price quality for dollar, it'll automatically regenerate the listing to present itself in a way that the guest is more likely to book it. Is Hospitable going to kind of follow along with that as far as I don't know really even what that would look like, but I just love the idea of it. And I looked at it a little bit from my direct booking site. So if you guys are going to do it, I won't invent the wheel. I'll wait for you to do it and just pay you to use it.
I think that's the data that you call the vault, the diamond. Yeah, that's proprietary data. That's definitely not going to be available to any third party, and rightfully so. There are plenty of use cases that we can look into with AI and generated content. I think the thing that we need to monitor is really making sure the information there is correct and is going to be applicable, not just completely hallucinated. But yeah, it's been 3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks and a half since GPT-4 was released. Now it seems like it's part of every conversation. There's a lot more work ahead of us. It's an exciting development. But yeah, every company is going to try and reuse it for their own taste, which is exciting for customers.
Absolutely. I appreciate you answering the questions, and if you could drop me down, I don't know how to do that on Zoom.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Thank you very much, Phil. Yeah, I can do that. Don't worry. Cool. So next up, we have Tabo. Welcome on stage.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, yourself?
So far, so good. Stanol is going a lot better than I was expecting for now.
Good.
That depends very much on your question. How are you doing?
No, it's not going to be a tricky question. But again, I just want to echo thanks for the great work. Really appreciate the product and really appreciate the improvements as well. I think we've been on the product for the last 2 months, and it's been really helpful. It's been really great in terms of automating all of our Airbnb hosting activity. The question I have is about Direct. I joined a little bit late, but my girlfriend was on the call. She essentially told me that Direct is limited at the moment, that there was a pilot, and that the pilot is, I think, closed. So I just really want to understand when Direct is going to be available to the public.
Sure. Yeah, it's closed, but it's closed for a good reason, because we're taking it out of pilot. So from April 17th, mark your calendar, we are going to start rolling that out to general audience, to all users. It's going to come in percentages. It's not like the pilot where you can get on the wait list in that sense. We're just going to start dialing up the amount of customers that can see it. An announcement will pop up from Intercom and say, hey, you now have the option to enable Direct. And then if you're a US property owner, you'll have the option to select Premium, and everyone else will have the option to use Basic, as long as you can get Stripe in your supported country, and then you can activate on your own. So that is the next step. We did close the pilot down because we had to, but it's the natural course of things. So you'll have it soon.
Okay, cool. So we can target April. We're in South Africa, so I'm assuming we can target April then for
Stripe supports 27 countries. You may want to check on the list. I don't know it off the top of my head.
I think Stripe is there, is supported in South Africa, but I will double check.
I'm getting a thumbs up from Vera, so I think you're fine. Yep.
Okay, fantastic. And then the other question is around ChatGPT. So also lots of conversation around ChatGPT enabled messaging. Is there a link where we can understand how to enable that? Yeah, it'd be good if we could understand that.
Yeah, I think we'll share the link in the chat. We do have a support doc up that'll show you how to do that. And yeah, just if you join late, I think you said you joined late. It's all available now for the beta audience. So if you haven't figured that out yet, that's another support doc, and you can go into your settings, enable beta features, and then you can get ChatGPT set up. Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Tabo, for the feedback.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So we are very quickly coming to the end of our session. So before we wrap up, we want to just kind of make sure we're answering off some of the questions that are coming through on the Q&A in chat. So just going to start going through those now. So Andrew, I think that there's quite a few in there for you. So,
yeah, I saw a couple. I saw people asking about if they can experience basically the end-to-end flow of Direct on their own. to see what the guest goes through. And that's totally fine. You can do that once you're set up on Direct with payment processing. You can create a request to book. You would then go through the guest verification if you want to see what AutoHost looks like. That costs us a little bit of money, so don't do that a lot of times, but go ahead and play with it. It's part of being a good host and QAing the product. But take a look at that, make sure your taxes look right, all that kind of stuff when you get set up. Make the request to book. That does require that you enter a valid credit card. So we do have some fraud detection in place. So you have to do that, but then you can cancel that request to book, right? So you don't have to accept the request to book to see really that experience. If you do that, fine, we'll make our service fee on that. But you don't have to do that. So yeah, that is the way to see the end-to-end flow. What else on Direct?
Sorry, Andrew. Yeah. Just on that, there was a question that if someone cancels their own booking, will they get the full amount back?
Yeah, so if you decline the request to book, then that's not even a cancellation, right? That's the no transaction takes place. If you cancel a request to book that was accepted, right now you have a couple options because we're kind of right now waiting for the cancellation policy manager. So again, the concept is that you're in control of Direct. You can cancel and not give a single refund to the guest because the only cancellation policy right now is a no refund policy. If you want to offer the guest a refund, you can give 100% refund. That includes payment processing fees. So that would be Hospitable basically eating the cost of those payment processing fees, and your guest gets exactly 100% back. You have kind of a bit of a hack right now that if you want to do a partial refund, you can make an alteration on that booking. So you can refund in increments of nightly stays. So if you had a 5-night booking and you want to return the guest, 20% of their booking because maybe the experience wasn't great, you can first alter down 1 night, 2 nights, 20, 40% of the booking. That will refund the guest that percentage. And then you can cancel if that's what you're trying to get at, is a cancellation with a partial refund. That's a hack. That's not the best case. We know that the cancellation policy is coming. Ad hoc refunds is also coming. So those things will be in place soon. I saw some questions about also ad hoc fees. So is Direct going to support like a pool heating fee? The answer is yes. That's probably going to be something that we hang on the guest portal. So the guest portal is basically an online itinerary manager for the guest. It does not exist yet. It is on the roadmap, and it'll be a great place for you to pitch other upsells to your guests. So things like pool heating fees, etc. We're very much interested in helping you drive additional revenue from your booking, and that's kind of how that's going to happen. So it'll allow you a great space to do like a soft sell that they're going to manage their itinerary there. They're going to be able to request cancellations, alterations from there. You could sell early check-in, late checkout, add an additional night, etc. That's all going to take place on that guest portal that's coming.
I think there was one other direct question around will we be able to see a list of areas where we'll be remitting taxes automatically?
Yes. Also a great flag. So yeah, the thing you can do now is once you get set up, you can kind of take a look at your listings, make sure we're set up. We're basically collecting all lodging tax, all sales tax in all jurisdictions in the US where it's applicable. That gets done by a third party. Those calculations are, they're updated. They're to the latest rules and regulations as they change. That is something you get with Direct Premium. With Direct Basic, you need to enter your own taxes. And what we're going to do on the tax calculation, so we added like the payout history page. The next thing that goes in that section of kind of the business side of Direct is the tax side. So we're going to give you a 1-pager of here are all the tax jurisdictions that apply to all of your properties that you are using with Direct. Here is a line item of all the taxes we've collected, and you can already do that through the metrics. So the metrics report, you can already spit out all the taxes that we've collected and passed through to you, so you have proper accounting for that, because with both options of Direct, you are responsible to making sure you file and remit all taxes, especially the ones we collect and pass through to you. So yeah, there's more to come with the taxes, and that's a great option to have just a single page visibility on all the taxes we collect.
Great, thank you, Andrew. So I think that is all we have time for today, unfortunately, friends. As usual, you can reach out to our support team, support@hospitable.com, if you do have questions. As we've pointed out on this call, we are working to hire more support agents there. So our response times are going to get reduced there. So we will get to your question as soon as we can. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will have another town hall same time, same place in 2 weeks' time. Look out for our calendar invites and notifications on our website for that. And with that, we bid you adieu. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending. Bye-bye.
Yeah.